This is the Conscious Chicano just coming on here. Um, I'll be going over a little bit of these topics. The topic here is the mark of the beast, transhumanism, posthumanism. So usually when I do videos, I have like always something that kind of like prompts me to make a video on a certain subject, So I was actually watching an indigenous podcast yesterday. Like I said, I don't say any names, I don't like to really put people out there and talk bad about them. What I do is if I agree or disagree with certain ideas and beliefs, then I'll just talk about that. I won't really attack people's character or it's a little childish to do that kind of stuff. Um, so so yesterday on the video, it was actually a pretty good video. I actually liked it. So it's nothing to. I'm not really critiquing it or anything like that. But it was this brown indigenous, person that was actually it was a few of them that were talking about the social credit score system, especially in China and everything. You guys are not aware of the social credit score system. You might want to probably go on rumble.com or BitChute and just type up social credit score system in China or something like that, and you'll find out there's a lot of stuff, a lot of information on it. But I'm just kind of like I'll just let you know like some basics about it. But basically China has a system where it's all connected digitally, and you basically you have a certain digital ID where if you do certain things that the government doesn't agree with, and you get like a negative score, and if you keep getting these negative scores, they kind of like punish you socially, so you won't have access to certain things, certain maybe certain goods and services. You can't enjoy yourself. You can't go to a concert or go see some movies or stuff like that. It's like they kind of like punish you if you don't comply to whatever, to all their what they think as is it should be correct. Or so in a sense it's kind of like Big Brother. If you guys ever seen read the book 1984 by George Orwell, it's like Big Brother keeping an eye on you, and there's kind of like the thought police in some sense. You can't say certain things or do certain things, or else Big Brother will come after you, right? You guys have never read 1984? There's actually there's a black and white film on 1984. You could search it up. Maybe go on Rumble or BitChute, or just get the book and read it. I actually used to teach out of that book. You guys know I worked in education for a long time and everything. But But besides that, yeah, go check out 1984. If you want a quick synopsis or summary of 1984, you can actually find kind of like an illustrated one or cartoon version of it on YouTube. I think I'm not too, I don't remember. I think is it Snopes or something like that. I forgot what it was, but you could just type up on YouTube summary of 1984, and it should pop up a bunch of different videos, and it'll give you like the gist of what 1984 is about, and we're actually seeing it. George Orwell predicted this in some sense. There's another good book called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. They kind of futuristic dystopian literature. Some of my favorite type of literature. Um, but they pretty much projected this in the future, and we see it happening in China, and China is actually um, inspiration for the World Economic Forum. One of the leaders, Klaus Schwab, him and Justin Trudeau made statements of, oh, we should aspire to be like China. The way they basically control their society and stuff like that. Um, so the only thing I have a little criticism of yesterday's podcast is that a lot of these indigenous people are anti-Christian, and they don't see what is actually going on, and hopefully they might see, they open their eyes, because I used to be there. I used to be anti-Christian, and a lot of people, a lot of times they're anti-Christian, or they're like New Agers and all that, but they still remember, like, somewhere down the line they probably went to a church, or they read, they heard about the mark of the beast, right? And so they don't forget that, right? And some of them even joke about it, because I actually know some. Uh, actually, I got, a long time ago. I actually led somebody. I'm not gonna say her name, but she's now anti-Christian. She's into the Mexica type stuff and everything. But she recently made a video mocking Christianity and saying how she used to believe in the mark of the beast and this and that. So obviously she's been kind of brainwashed, but she claims she's a witch now and this and that. So I don't know. She's kind of straight off, and maybe she's still, maybe God will, maybe maybe she'll even see this video. I don't know, um, but what I'm saying is, sometimes people stray away. They have bad experiences with Christianity, and or they're not taught the right way, so they end up straying away. Or they're just deceived. But there's a lot of reasons why. But people, especially a lot of the New Agers and conspiracy people, they're well aware of the social credit score system and all that, and I've seen some of the New Agers, say, what, the even Joe Rogan and all that, they're all saying, what, the Bible is actually is what it says in the Bible about the mark of the beast. They're starting to see it in society right now, and it's like a wake up call, for the New Agers and conspiracy theorists, like, you guys got to know, because this all this social credit score, all this Big Brother stuff, and all this stems from the from the mark of the beast, in the knowledge of that in the book of Revelations, So the book of Revelations talks about you can't buy and sell without this mark. You can't be part of the system without this mark, right? Now, you got these Christians out here that deny that the mark of the beast exists, or they'll say, "Oh, you first got to see the Antichrist first for the mark of the beast and this and that." Um, that's in my opinion, they kind of try to justify themselves because a lot of times even Christians are going to be deceived, and when the mark of the beast is right in front of their face, they're gonna fall for it, and you know they're not gonna be aware of it in some sense, because they in their own minds they convince themselves that nothing is the mark of the beast. But what I'm saying is that there is a system that's being set up already, and we're getting a hint of it in China, and Canada wants to replicate that, and they were actually trying to institute that when all the lockdowns were going on. You had these jab passports and this and that, and oh, you couldn't go in a restaurant unless you had a jab, right? You couldn't do certain things unless you had a jab, and they were trying to push this passport type stuff. So that's just setting up. They're trying to set up a system, where they want to track and trace and basically control everyone. Like we saw even when the truckers were protesting the lockdowns and everything, what did they do? They went after their banks and they froze their accounts, and some of them were, they couldn't even, a lot of them couldn't even access their money. So this is why they're trying to push for a cashless society, so they can centralize the digital currency, so they can control and manipulate everybody, and basically, you can't buy or sell without being part of the system, and without, you got to comply with everything with them. And if it means that you need some injections where they put some, technology inside of you, and that's, you got to comply, or you're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to be able to make money to fund, to pay your bills, to support your kids, to have a job, all that kind of stuff. And this is what the mark of the beast is all going to be about. And obviously there is going to be the antichrist that's going to come out in full force. But I do believe the mark of the beast system will be gradually building before the antichrist reveals himself. So I have a different perspective than a lot of mainstream Christians out here. They think that first you need the antichrist and then the mark of the beast will come about. Well, if you read the book of Revelations, there's no linear ordering in some sense. Sometimes there's certain events, are they're referring to previous events and this and that. It's not really a linear unfolding, right? So I actually read books on this whole subject too as well. um, and there's theologians and Bible prophecy teachers that do believe that the beast system is going to be eventually unfolding before our eyes, and we see it already. Um, so definitely, hopefully, the conspiracy theories, the New Agers, the Meshikas, and all that, they come to realize that what's in the Bible is true, and there is going to be the mark of the beast, and hopefully they take heed to these words and say, hey, what does the Bible say? When you take the mark of the beast, you're done, you're finished. You vowed yourself to Satan, Lucifer, when you take that mark of the beast, and you rejected God. So what's going to happen is just once you take that mark, that's it. You're done. You're going to hell. That's straight up. I know they don't like the concept of hell because they want everything sugar coated and nice and everything. But there is cosmic justice for rejecting God. Otherwise, we would see all these evil people with the Creator or in heaven, which is doesn't make sense. We need a concept of hell, you know, in order to bring cosmic justice. But besides that, the mark of the beast is it's going to be there's different things going on. You got they have the technology to inject people and to implement this kind of stuff, and the Bible says the mark of the beast. There's different translations. Some say that the mark of the beast is going to be on the right hand, on the forehead. There's others that say, oh, it's going to be in the hand, and or in the head in some sense. So depending on your translation. But either way, I actually there's this guy named Anthony Patch. He's pretty interesting. Um, but he talks about how it could even be a little bit of both, where there's like what does he call it, microneedle technology, where it's like you have like a digital tattoo on you, right? And if you actually are aware of, there's a lot of these tech type, workshops and master, like I mean, actually, conferences. They have this kind of technology where they want to merge humans with artificial intelligence, and they do it through either injection or even what Elon Musk plans on doing with this whole microchipping the brain, right? So you can have access to the metaverse, right? You can download information, and it's going to be enticing to people. People are going to like, hey, it's going to promise, immortality supposedly, or it's going to promise longer life, or it's going to promise more intelligence, you know. You could download information, you could download all these languages, and it's all inside your head, right? Or they'll promise it's gonna cure this, or it's gonna cure everything, right? And this is the false deception that they're gonna tell you, right? So you can go ahead and take it, right, to make it more convenient for you, right? So definitely the mark of the beast, they're gonna deceive. And and I wanted to talk about transhumanism, and what is the difference between transhumanism and posthumanism. Transhumanism is basically, technology merging with humans. So in a sense, you're kind of half human and half, you know, half technology, or half artificial intelligence, right? So it's a stage that they're gonna try to merge humans with artificial intelligence. Klaus Schwab has talked about that. What is it? One of the World Economic Forum's gurus. What's his name? Harari. Um, his name is Harari. He's like their little guru and stuff like that. But Elon Musk, Klaus Schwab, all these guys, they're all talking about this, merging humans with artificial intelligence, right? Even Bill Gates is all on that agenda as well. He even has a patent where it's basically it's the motion of the body, and it's like um is some are trying to say, oh, he doesn't mean that it's in the body, but if you actually go read the patent, it has to do with some kind of technology that's in your body, and it's like it keeps track of your body movements and this and that. um and that Harari guy says that when they did the lockdowns, and they they mandated the jabs, that they basically, the government actually went in, you know, inside you. In some sense, he made statements like that, and there's recordings of him actually saying that they now, it's like nothing is a secret anymore. So they're like, that's what he said, that they accomplished this. And so the first key is to merge humans with artificial intelligence, and the next stage is what's called posthumanism. So posthumanism is basically um, is a step after transhumanism. So you got the regular human species, and then it merges with artificial intelligence, where you have both half human, half artificial intelligence, and eventually they want to upload people's minds to the metaverse and make that a separate entity, and this is what's called posthumanism. And so that's their goal. And this is, in a sense, it's like living in kind of like a holographic metaverse, where people do, it's like it's trying to set up another reality out there, and a whole new world in some sense. And I actually came across some preacher who gets into this, and he made some interesting things, comments. But he said that it's possible that the beast is actually, when the Bible talks about the image of the beast, it's actually talking about some kind of digital image in some sense. It's kind of like it might even be like in the metaverse in some sense. So, and people are going to worship that image, and that's what the image of the beast is all about. So that's an interesting take on that. Um, so it's possible, you know, but here's the thing: is some Christians will joke around. Are you saying that certain things are the mark of the beast? Well, let me make this clear. The mark of the beast system is basically it's an unraveling of what's going to crystallize in what's called the mark of the beast. So, and it's a process. It just doesn't appear out of nowhere, right? It's a process and everything. So, and this is what all this lockdowns was all about. The jabs, they're doing a social experiment on us and see how we would react, right? And so they have more plans in the future, and it could be different types of chaos they cause in society, where they eventually convince people or try to force people to merge with this artificial intelligence, and eventually become post-humanist reality. And at the same time, they're controlling everybody. And this is, I think, once people are kind of hooked up to this type of metaverse, they're going to be in a sense kind of like mental zombies in some sense. And I believe that this is how they're going to actually get everyone to worship worship the Antichrist, and the image of the beast and all that. So you guys out here, you Meshikas or New Agers or conspiracy theorists or cultists or whatever, you guys are aware of this mark of the beast type stuff and everything. So you better wake up, man, and go read that Bible. Stop mocking Christianity and stop mocking the Bible, because the Bible is reality, man, and it's prophetic, and we see before our eyes the mark of the beast actually happening, and little by little it's unraveling before our eyes. So anyways, I wanted to finish up on this and make this very brief, so I'll let you guys go, and um, definitely go, do more research on this whole subject, um, because it's happening. It's unraveling before our eyes, and definitely just go research transhumanism, posthumanism. Um, there's actually a pretty good guy that talks about this, Anthony Patch. He's pretty good. Um, he gets really into the how they're trying to like use they're trying to digitize all of reality. There's actually another lady too. It used to be a ex FEMA worker. Her name is Celeste Salome. She's very interesting too. She talks about that she even goes to the World Economic Forum's websites and shows you what their agenda is. They basically trying to digitize all of reality so they can patent it. They want to change all of reality. See, they can't patent reality if it's organic, right? They can't claim ownership over that. But if they alter it with artificial intelligence and all that, and then they can claim ownership over whatever they changed and patent it, and so they could own it, right? And then they could control it, right? And this is what Klaus Schwab talks about it that um, you're basically not going to own anything, you'll be happy. Sounds like something from out of 1984, that book and everything. But yeah, that's the goal, is that you're not going to own yourself, you're not going to own anything, that basically the world government, the new world order, the antichrist system is going to own everything. And yeah, and they're going to have full control over everything and everybody. The goal is to have a cashless society. I know they're already doing it. They're trying. You can't even use cash, say at Magic Mountain. I think even Universal Studios, different places here and there. And now Whole Foods is making you scan your hand, to pay for things. Certain gyms and everything, they're using biometrics. You go to the airport, they're scanning your eye, your retina. Um, I think even when some people try to get certain benefits, government benefits, they have to scan their face. It kind of scans you. Um, the same thing with like if you work for Uber and stuff like that, they scan your face and everything. So they're putting you in their digital system. They know who you are already. Even to unlock your cell phone, you gotta stick your finger, and scan your finger, and or do a biometric scan of your face and everything. It's just little by little. That's what they're pushing for. Um, Biometrics and everything. Yeah, I've been into this whole subject for a long time, but um, a lot of us old school prophecy conspiracy people are like, we've always been talking about it, but now we're starting to see it, before our eyes. Just study China and what they're doing right there. And if you don't comply with China, they punish you, and you could even end up in their jails or locked up somewhere, and they throw out the keys, and they disappear you, right? And so it's kind of, that's the new world order, world government, cashless society, one world religion, one world politics, one world military, and the one world religion is going to be the Antichrist religion. It might even be some kind of New Age type religion. It can't be Christianity because Christianity opposes the Antichrist. So it has to be some kind of one world religion. Actually, I think it's actually going to be more of a Zionist type religion, where everyone they have to follow the Noahide laws. Get into that too. Zionism, the Antichrist, they say is going to be in the temple, and the goal of the Zionists is to set up a third temple, and this is why they're fighting, to take over the Middle East and everything. They're committing genocide on people and everything. Uh, so yeah, that goes down the rabbit hole. All this Freemasonry, secret societies, Zionism, New World Order, white supremacy, Antichrist system, the white supremacist matrix as well. It's all that, man. The beast system. Anyways, well, I gotta get going. You guys have a good night. Just wanted to talk about this topic. Remember, don't be woke, be conscious. And have a good night.